Hey everybody, I'm Jim Harmer and this is my video on the Yamaha TTR50. He doesn't like going downhill. Okay, get up to a little bit of speed now. There you go. I need GoPros for you guys so you can have video of the crashes. So I got this dirt bike for the kids. My boys are 8 years old and 6 years old. And we've had a good time on the dirt bike. I'm glad I bought it. I bought it brand new from Yamaha a few weeks ago. But I'm not super handy. I'm really not. And I am new to dirt biking. And so there have been a few things that I have needed to learn. And that's what I want to share with you in this video. I'm by no means an expert. So if I say something wrong, please correct me in the comments. But I have learned a lot. And so that's what I want to share in the video. Hopefully to help any other dads out there who are trying to have a trouble-free experience with their kids' dirt bike. So a few things that I have learned, mostly the hard way already, are number one, the tires. When I talked to the repair guy at the Yamaha place, I spent a lot of time talking to him trying to see what I could get from him. And he said the number one repair by far that he sees is with the tires. These tires are not as thick and tough as the adult dirt bikes, the larger dirt bikes, and so even goat heads, things like that, can puncture these tires. And to make sure that they always have enough tire pressure in the tires, because if they don't have enough pressure, the wheel can actually spin in there around that tube and just strip the little valve stem that comes out. So that's the number one thing, is he said if you just always check the tire pressure when you go out, it's going to save you a lot of money and headaches. So number one is the tires. The second thing that caused us issues is the key. My guess is everybody who buys it is going to have issues like this. So it can be tempting to use this to turn off the dirt bike when you're done. But if you use that to turn off the dirt bike, there's still power juice going to the battery. You have to turn the key off. So I told my kids, just don't use this unless it's an emergency. If you want to turn it off, turn the key. And by doing that, you won't run out the battery. But of course, we forgot, and we did run out the battery. And so the problem with that is it's a really small battery in these things, and it's not easy to jump because of the terminal connections on it. So how you get to it is, here's the seat on the dirt bike, and we just go down here. Right here. There are these two bolts. You just release those two bolts, seat comes off, and we are ready to remove the battery. The battery mounts right here on this little bracket, and this big charger you just press down and pull out, and that charger will come out the front. And here is our battery. So this is the battery in the TTR50. Now the question is, how in the world do you charge that tiny little thing? So for this, you'll probably want to buy a smart charger. I bought one because the repair guy said, yeah, that's one thing you'll probably have to do pretty regularly. So it's probably worth getting the smart charger. So I picked this up. This is from C-Tech. I'll link to it in the description of this video. And you'll just put, you know how to charge a battery. But these do barely fit, but they do clip right on there. It took us about 4 hours to charge the battery here. It's a smart charger, so you don't have to worry about leaving it on too long. And then once it's charged, we can just reinstall the battery. So we've already talked about the tires, the number one thing, and the number two thing is that battery. Now the third thing that we had problems with are, my kids are 8 years old and 6 years old. They're using a dirt bike for the first time, and so they're dumping it over and crashing constantly. At first I was thinking, do we really need all these pads? Oh yeah, they need all the pads. They're crashing like crazy. So when you crash it, oil can come right there in the filter. Let's get you down there. Right here is the filter. And that is one of the reasons why you're going to have a hard time starting this puppy up again after you've crashed on this left side of the dirt bike. Right in front of the battery. So right behind here, you'll see this tiny little nub, and behind that is this little plastic thing that you'll see, like this one, is full of oil. And if this is full of oil, that means the filter is definitely full of oil, because it's full and then it's come down here. So if you've been crashing a lot and it just doesn't seem to start right, that's why. Pull this sucker out, let the oil completely drain out of this, and then with a screwdriver, it's really easy to just get this one screw off, and then you can remove this cover, and then you'll have the filter. It's really just a little sponge in there. And you don't want to wring it, you could tear it, but you can, you can squish it and get all the oil out of there. Well, not all the oil, you do want a little bit to catch the dust, but you want to get most of the oil out of there, and then you should be able to start okay. Now, normally, starting this thing is really, really simple. If you just simply turn the key to on, I don't have a battery in here, and then you'll just press the start button, you're ready to go. But that's not always the case. If it's really cold outside, you might need a choke if we're doing a cold start, but we haven't even needed that. Just really one press and it started, no problem. However, if you have crashed several times and we're kind of getting flooded here, then you may need to throttle it back to press and then press the go button to get it to start, just because it needs some air in there. And the other thing is, you don't really want these to be idling for super long, because it's using the air to really cool it. It needs that air flowing through it. And so, yeah, so that's another reason why you can have problems getting it started. Now, one other issue that we've had just in the first couple weeks of owning this thing is we had an issue where the throttle was getting stuck. So where you normally, where you normally twist this back and it obviously springs forward like it is now, it was twisting and staying and it wouldn't move. And what had happened is the kids had dumped it this way and it pushed the grip here in a little bit. Not just the rubber grip though, but this whole thing, you'll see this screw mounts it onto the handlebars. And so if you just release that screw, scoot this in just 1/4 of an inch away from the edge, then it'll be fine. The problem is this rubber was hitting the metal, this gray metal inside it. So you may just have to loosen that screw, scoot it in 1/4 inch, and it's like a 30-second fix. That's it. That is the Honda TTR50 and some of the repairs that we have already run into with it. Overall, I am still glad that we got it. I think it's a good bike, but I'm just new to this stuff. I've got to learn how to repair them and take care of the bikes, and so that's a lesson learned from the first few weeks. Those of you who are more experienced, please share in the comments other things that I should be aware of to take care of the bike well, and hopefully have as many trouble-free weekends with the kids as possible. Thanks, everybody.